Hi, I'm Susan. Thanks for choosing Decorating Magic. Today I'm going to show you how to make 2 Christmas arrangements that you can use year after year. I'm going to make this tall arrangement that is suitable for a foyer or entryway, and then I'm going to make this lower arrangement that is suitable for a dining room table. Let's go ahead and get started on the low arrangement. This is what you're going to need. You're going to need a container. You're going to need your floral stems. You're going to need floral foam and a knife and cutting board. You're going to need some wire cutters, and you might need some filler just to kind of cover up the floral foam once you've already inserted all your stems, just to hide it. I could use this raffia. I could use some of this little moss. I may not need anything at all, just depending on how full my arrangement turns out. As you can see, I've got 2 containers here. This one is actually a better size for a low arrangement, but it's a little bit casual. It'd be really cute on a kitchen table, but I think I'm going to go with the gold one for the dining room table. So the first thing we're going to do is insert the floral foam. This is nearly the exact same size as the pot, so I'm just going to jam it in there. You ready? I might have to trim it after all. So I can't get it out, so I'm going to cut it from the top. Now, after I get it cut off, I'm going to jam the extra pieces in the sides. I don't know if you can see there's some areas that don't have any foam at all, and I want to be able to put stems wherever I want to. So after I get this cut, I'm going to be putting it down in the sides. Okay, I'm going to take some little pieces and cut them and put them down like this. Just so I can put stems anywhere I want. Let's take a minute and talk about the stems. When they come to the store, they're all smashed from shipping, and you're going to need to spend a little bit of time fluffing them out. So most flowers these days do have wire in them. So you can bend and shape the petals however you want. You can leave them open a lot or just leave them compact. It's really kind of up to you. And every year when you get your arrangement out, you probably will have to spend a little time fluffing them and kind of cup them, shape them. And I think we're pretty much ready to cut. I like to start my arrangements in the middle and work out. I've chosen one gold flower to be the center. But this particular flower has all this other stuff going on, and I think I'm just going to clip that off, and I may or may not use that later. The rest of my flowers are red and green. Now, I don't know if you can see this, but this little stem is the actual stem for the gold flower, but that's really not going to be tall enough, so I'm going to go down to probably this cut mark right here, and I'm going to use my wire cutters. Now, you can see this is a big, thick stem. There's probably several wires in there. So even with a good pair of clippers or wire cutters, it may be difficult. But you may end up just having to bend it back and forth like this until it breaks. And like I said, I'm going to cut off these other things. This is just too much going on. Okay, so I got my leaf, or my flower. I'm going to pull that leaf off. And I'm just going to split this straight down the middle. Okay. Now I've got my other flowers. This is the red flower that I just fluffed out a minute ago. And I'm going to cut it. Cutting is the scary part because I'm always afraid I'm going to cut it too short and ruin my arrangement. So I usually err on the side of caution and cut it a little long. Again, there we go. Okay. I'm probably going to pull that leaf off because you're not really going to see it. Now, I like to work in groups of 3s. So I have 3 red flowers and 3 green flowers and then my gold flower. So I'm just kind of alternate. I'm stabbing it down the side. I probably didn't make it too long, but okay. So I'm just going to work around with my other flowers until it's all full. One reason to keep a low arrangement on the dining room table is so that your guests can see each other. If you've got a big, tall arrangement, you really can't see other people at the table. I'm going to cut this one a little shorter. I may have to recut that red one. It's a little tall. Let me take that lead off too. So I'm just going to alternate my colors of the red and the green. Putting it down into the styrofoam. Okay, now time for another red one. Kind of stand back and look at your arrangement too from time to time just to make sure you're getting the flowers where they need to be. There's not a real science to it. It's just pretty much whatever is appealing to you. Okay, I'm getting ready to put in my last floral stem. It's going to go right here. I've alternated the colors with the gold one in the middle. It's in there pretty well. Now we just kind of need to do the final touch-up and fluffing. We have to see if we can see the floral foam, which you can. So one thing you can do is kind of bend these leaves down to kind of disguise it. But I'm probably going to need to put something in there. And I think I'm going to use the raffia. And I'm simply going to just kind of tuck it in there. You could hot glue this in, but really it'll probably stay pretty well just on its own. So just kind of work it in there until you've got your floral foam all covered up. And I think I mentioned the reason we keep a low arrangement on the dining table is so that your guests can see each other. They don't have to peek over a tall arrangement. All right, that's about it. Let's go ahead and make the tall arrangement. I've chosen this mercury glass container just because I like the bling, and I've already gone ahead and filled it with the floral foam. Now, this arrangement, you're for sure going to see this floral foam because unlike the last arrangement, it had the big full flowers, we're going to be using a lot of stems like this feather or this peacock feather. So you're definitely going to be seeing the bottom. So in order to disguise that, I've got a couple of options. I might be able to use some of this old garland. I might be able to use some of this poly mesh, or I might be able to disguise it with some of these leftover balls from another project. In any case, we will definitely be needing some hot glue, so I've added a hot glue gun as well as a pair of scissors to our supply list. So I'm going to start in the middle. Now this one's not very tall to begin with, so I'm not going to cut anything off of it. And I'm going to go ahead and place that in the middle. Okay, and then I'm going to go around with the peacock feathers. And I think what I'm going to do is cut these strands off individually. Maybe not. I change my mind sometimes. These are pretty tough. I see it's got, try it again. There we go. Okay, so again, I'm going to go around the center. I'm going to go ahead and put all my peacocks in, and then I'm going to go back with the feathers. These peacock feathers are really not much to fluff. And now the feathers are just on its own slender stem there. And I may try to bend it back so that I can get them to come out a little bit. There's really no need to cut those because they'll go right down into the foam. And I've got some of these. But as you can see, you can can really see that floral foam. Okay, now we got to figure out how to hide that foam. So I've had a few minutes to play around with the poly mesh and the garland and the balls, and I think the easiest remedy is going to be this garland. And what I'm going to do is take my hot glue gun and then just sort of poke it in and cover up all the floral foam. So I'm going to just put a little dab. I'm going to use my leftover stem to poke the garland in so I don't burn myself. It's not wanting to cooperate. There we go. You don't need much of this glue because I'm going to go ahead and apply some. Okay. Again, I'm just trying to cover up my mechanics. And I might put some of those little balls in there after I'm done with the garland. I don't know if you can see this. But we're just concealing the floral foam. Get it all the way to the center this time. I still see a few bare spots, so I'm going to go around again. They're mostly in the middle. Okay, that's pretty well done. I'm just going to cut this off here. Poke that down a little bit. Come on. Alright, I think I will put a few of these little balls in. I'm just going to do it sort of randomly. Put one right here. Just gives it a little more bling. Now, here's another bare spot. I may need a little bit more garland to cover that up. I think I will. Can't tell you how many times I've burned myself with the hot glue gun. Alright, last ball. Just going to put it right in the middle. And there you have it. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe.